You can see the arrow wasn't working today. It's straight up and down, not pointing into our chamber, but that happens sometimes. And center wall, there's 2 locomotives coming towards us on the running track. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, about 7 of them parked on the running track.
The locomotives help take the ship through the tight channel.
That's what I told him this morning when I talked about it.
The gates have closed on the lock up ahead for this ship that's ahead of us.
A ringside seat.
If you're looking forward, look at the size of that chamber. It's 1,000 feet from one set of gates to the other, and it's 110 feet wide and about 40 feet deep. A west chamber, the gates have closed behind that container ship up there, and they'll start dropping down about 26 feet in a few minutes.
Wow.
And if you're looking out starboard side, we're probably starting to hook up to the locomotives on the center wall. From where I'm standing, I can't see it, but you get a good view over there.
We're approaching one of the locks of the Panama Canal on the Caribbean side. I should have brought the tripod.
Yeah. Because people do that if they get up in time. I can hold it some of the time too.
I want to see this ship go down.
This one.
It's going to go down about 26 feet, he said, as they let the water out of the lock. That's pretty amazing.
He must be full because he's loaded, way loaded.
We're sitting in the Horizon Court buffet area on the bow of the ship, looking out towards the Gatun Locks, I guess. He's going down now. I can't see it.
Down, yeah.
I can't see the words on the on the stern that I could see before.
Picking up our 2 towing locomotives for the bow off the center wall, and then as we move in a little further, we'll pick up 2 of the locomotives for the sidewall. Right now, the captain's doing the maneuvering with the thrusters, and the pilot wants him to keep about 2 feet off the center wall as we move along. Now, once we get in communication with the sidewall, the tensioning with the locomotive cables will keep us away from the walls. And you notice the ding ding with the locomotives. Once again, that's the pilot giving the locomotive operator instructions, and the ding ding means I understand when they push the, there's a little pedal on the floor and it rings the bell twice.
Boy, he's dropping way
He's
down.
dropping, isn't he? Boy, he is, yeah. So the excursions must be on the other side. We must be able to get them on the other
Well, several of the excursions were going through the locks.
side.
So we'll be picking them up on the other side.
Ah,
Maybe all of them.
I have no idea.
No, I'm saying, it looks like the way you should.
Yeah.
So only a 2-foot clearance between us and the dock right now. That's amazing. That's tight maneuvering.
Okay, and then as we're moving forward, you can keep your eye on the container vessel in the west chamber. You can see it's getting lower and lower, and pretty soon it'll move forward into the middle chamber. Now on starboard side, they're getting ready to hook up the towing locomotives. As we get a little closer, someone on the ship will throw a line over to the wall. There's no rowboat involved on this side. And you can see the men on the locks there by the knuckle, the big rubber tires,
The monkey fist.
are getting ready to receive the line when we get up abreast of them.
Look at the gates opening up there, up ahead.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
180 is going to be our first locomotive. 180 and 186, I think it is, are going to be the two bow locomotives.
The container ship, is there any space in between the side? Look how close that is.
Cigarette papers.
Yeah, cigarette papers, that's right. Shoot, man, that is so tight. I'm waiting till this gets up. Try. Yeah.
If you can make your flash not turn on, you'll probably get a pretty good picture.
Okay.
If the flash turns on, it'll probably white it out.
Blind us all.
Yeah, well, indeed.
He's really dropped, hasn't he? You can't see the writing on it at all.
No.
see on the starboard side forward here, they've thrown the lines over and they're starting to winch the cables back on board from the towing loop. And we'll be hooked up to them quite shortly.
He's talking about over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so 180's got two cables aboard, and 186 has the rope tied to two cables, and they're winching that. So if you're looking forward starboard, you'll see the cables coming up.
They're closing the gates again.
Yes.
Now, if someone at home is watching us on the webcam, that tower in the short distance there, the red and white tower next to the building with the red roof is where the webcam is, and we're in focus for the Gatun webcam. And when we get further down in the lower chamber, we'll be in the high resolution chamber. So maybe somebody at home's watching us.
How about that?
Do we get audio at home when we're watching the webcam? You should have told Judy about the webcam.
Yes, I should have.
You can see in that chamber up there, the water is all out of it now. That one up there?
Yeah.
If you're looking down starboard side, look at the knuckle there. We're not too far from the tire that's protecting the knuckle.
Costco, Houston.
They open pipes underneath the ground and lets the water flow out. Like pulling a drain in the bathtub. That's not. I like when you think about that.
They're from Hong Kong.
Yes.
They're opening the gate for it now, so now they can spread right there.
Similar locks and things like this at the Suez Canal too.
I don't know. I don't know if they have different levels to deal with in that canal. I'm not at all sure. I've never heard of it.
If that was a sneeze, God bless you.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was.
Pretty neat.
Well, here are the antennas on the container ship. Some radar antennas and some communications antennas.
Can you imagine a cargo from that ship?
We're moving on into the chamber there. Pretty soon we'll pick up the two stern locomotives on each side, and we'll be ready to go through. Great day for pictures straight ahead. If you look ahead in our chamber, you'll see the gates for the middle chamber. And you can see all the holes in the top, and as the water rises up, the gates take on water and become less buoyant, and they put less strain on the yoke and the pintle ball at the bottom. And then when the water drops in the chamber, the water flows out of the top of the gates and they become less buoyant, and it's much easier to open and close them. Rather ingenious device invented over 100 years ago when they built these. Now the gates are open for the container ship in the west chamber, and it's starting to move into the middle chamber.
So we've got a 2-lane road here.
It's going now. Yeah. This is earlier than what I said.
Looking out starboard side, you'll see some of the buildings over there with green roofs. That's the remains of the American town of Gatun. Folks that worked on the locks would live there, and there was an elementary school in there. They went to high school over in another city there, but this area is virtually abandoned. Some of the contractors live in the homes, but most of the rest of them have been taken down. But it's very typical of tropical housing. You have a tin roof with a large overhang and screens all the way around, and most of the houses were built up on stilts, so you had a nice airflow through the bottom.
She's done with it.
What?
You look at the container ship over there and look above the bridge. The pilot's out on the wing bridge there giving directions, and the rest of the fellows are ship's officers. But if you see the 2 flags that are flying, the one flag is the Republic of Panama, which is a courtesy flag that you fly when you're in their territorial waters, and then the flag next to it is half red and half white, and that means that there's a pilot on board.
Oh, well, that's a good idea.
Now, looking forward, to give you an idea of where we're going, you'll see how many steps it is to the ocean, 3 steps. And the middle chamber is at its lowest point, so the water that's got us up here at lake level will spill down into that chamber. And when they're even, the pair of gates in front of us will open up. And then we'll move into the lower chamber, and then we'll move out to sea level, and it's 7 miles to the breakwater.
So all those people that went ashore, we just hope they get on sometime. That's mild.
Oh, we're gradually moving up to the
We picked up our
gates
stone
on the lock.
locomotives on the east wall side here. So we're hooked to 8 towing locomotives now. And there's a pilot giving directions going forward. The captain is moving us forward with the propeller and the thrusters. And then there's a pilot in the stern and a pilot in the bow, and they're telling the towing locomotive operators on center wall or side wall to pull us over and slack off, and it keeps us centered up so we don't end up with a Panama stripe when we're going through the locks here. I mentioned to you about the hydraulic rams that replace that big wheel, and you're in a position now, if you look at the gates in front of us, you can see the black and yellow rams that disappear into the recess there and come out and hook up to the gates. Those are hydraulic rams that open and close the lock gates. They replace the bull wheels. They're more reliable. They're not susceptible to lightning strikes. And when you get a little further up on the port side, those little tenant fares there, you can look down inside of those and see the hydraulic units that power the rams.
Stop it. No, it's still moving.
We're still moving.
Here we are. Stop now, though.
West chamber looking astern, so we're on the port side of the ship. There's another container ship coming into the locks behind the one that's currently abreast of us. And the photo folks are back, so they have the video camera set up forward on the sidewall here. And I'm sure they'll be moving along the side of the ship and taking pictures again.
And then our picture last night at supper.
And how many places do you go to work and have to walk across a narrow lock gate to get to your place of work, or to go back home when the shift changes there?
I'll bet they make good money for that walk, though. I wonder if they're unionized.
You can see how much below the pier the
Yes.
Costco Houston is.
Yes, I see.
Okay, west chamber forward, the container ship has cleared the gates, so the gates should begin to close over there anytime soon.
Boy, he's barely sitting in the water, isn't he?
Yeah.
So if you watch, like that light right there, that light, right here, eventually it's gonna start.
You can see the locomotive helping him along with the lines up to the
Yeah.
stern of the ship.
Oops. He stopped.
Look at the clearance on one side.
Clearance. There is no clearance. It's just cigarette paper in there.
Here's the gate.